Hey guys, welcome to tonight's top 3 tips and Q&A for men over 50. My name's Tess. I'm a 35-year-old non-aid model and dating coach, and I will be joined by James, who's a 54-year-old male dating coach. He'll be with us in just a second. So let's get straight into it. Number 3 top dating tip for men who are over 50 is understand basic biology and evolution. So, all women in pretty much every culture in the world, they want confident older men. And this is about tapping into our deeper evolutionary psychology that dictates why we find certain things attractive in men. So, younger guys often, they've got no life experience. Um, they're emotionally immature. They're usually prioritizing things like drinking or partying, taking drugs, or it might be cars, motorbikes, whatever it might be. Sometimes it's even career or money. But what it comes down to is that they're not prioritizing their relationships with women, and and it's women say that. Oftentimes they're terrible in bed just because they haven't had the experience. They probably have done most of their research from watching porn, which is just completely fake and unrealistic in terms of female pleasure. Um, and and they might not have had a lot of relationship experience as well. So that means they're a lot less likely to have an understanding of female psychology, especially in relationships. Uh, Oftentimes young guys haven't traveled much or read many books, so it's just about that adds to emotional maturity and just general cultural intelligence and adaptability, I think, as well. And generally, if a girl does get into a relationship with a really attractive younger guy, it often won't last because he's usually wanting to keep his options open and chasing other women until sometimes the age of 40 or later. So all of these things add up to it just not working, and women looking for the opposite of that. So older guys, what is really attractive to women for you is the opposite of what I just said. Having that life experience, having relationship experience, being more emotionally mature, prioritizing the woman and things she wants to do and actually having things in common, and you're beyond that phase of partying and drugs and, probably a bit more settled in your career as well. So you've got more time and energy to devote to being in the relationship and being present in the relationship. Um, you know, being better in bed. There are so many advantages, and this is what women are looking for. So you guys want to play to your strengths for sure, and you guys have a lot going for you. This is what women want. Now, our number 2 point is to learn the essential skills. I'll go through this in just a second, but why should you believe me? Well, for anyone who's new here, I'm Tess. I'm the head female coach at Social Coach. And since 2006, we've sent our team of model female coaches on dates with our clients, first on Zoom, then in real life. And we give them brutally honest feedback from the female perspective on what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and exactly what you need to do step by step to improve your success with women dramatically. So I'll share a bunch of proof of how we do this a little bit later. But back to number 2. So these essential skills that you need to learn are touch, eye contact, date planning is a huge one. Reading women's signals is absolutely huge. These are all of the things we go through in our program. And, when you learn the mechanics of these things, they're all skills that are learnable. And when you learn all of these, you're presenting yourself in a way that lets all of those strengths that I just described in the first point shine through. And so women are actually they're not rejecting you straight away when you try to speak to them. You're creating a strong first impression. You're able to build rapport quickly, and basically things are a lot easier once you've done those things early on. But then moving forward, being aware of her, reading her signals, understanding at what rate she wants you to escalate, when she's ready for you to go in for the first kiss, all of this stuff. So yeah, I mean, the understanding of the female psychology is what it really comes down to. So learning these skills is one thing, but understanding why those skills make you attractive to women will make everything fall into place. On top of that, style, the way you present yourself is super important. Your energy management as well, how you actually approach being social and attracting women, warming up and what you do, what's appropriate to do to get you in the right headspace and mind frame to be doing that. For that to be successful for you. And then obviously the energy dynamics throughout the entire interaction as well. And then most importantly, elite level conversation skills. So this is especially important when you first meet a girl. You're not going to be able to build any rapport straight away unless you're able to get her engaged, and you're also able to navigate the conversation with these elite skills that we give you. So that's really, really, really important. Those are just a bunch of the things we talk about. Our programs are also, they're quite individually tailored as well. So for each person, some of these things might be more important than others. Obviously it's tailored to exactly what is essential for you. But all of those points that I went through, touch, eye contact, date planning, reading women's signals, understanding the female psychology, your presentation and style, energy, and conversation skills, they're the main points that are super, super important for attracting women. Now, let's move on to our number one. So number one, the biggest one of all, is trim your nostril hair. Oh, wait, no, sorry, I've got that one wrong. It is, that was a little joke, guys. It is know where to meet the women who will be attracted to you. So, you might have all these skills. You might be presenting yourself in a great way. You might have all of the things women are looking for. But if you're not putting yourself in the place where you're going to meet the women you're after, you'll often be attracting women who are not your ideal match, who you don't have much in common with. They're not the actual high quality women you're looking for. So basically, how do you put yourself in those places? Well, once you identify where these places are, you need to have all of those skills I spoke about. But what it really comes down to is that you have something in common with the women. And this is really important. We teach you the skills for highlighting that stuff in conversation as well. People are naturally drawn to others who have similarities to them. So in dating, that applies absolutely. The same. You're not really going to want to spend a lot of time with someone who doesn't have not necessarily just similar hobbies and interests, but it might be deeper value systems or beliefs or ethics, or just the way you view the world. All of these things, if you can't connect on in any of those ways, you're potentially not compatible. So, for example, for me, I'm quite adventurous. I love traveling. I love adventure sports. I'm a paraglider. I'm a surfer. I actually met a couple of really great guys in the surf who I've dated, and all of my long-term relationships have been guys who surf. Paragliding, met some really interesting people as well. A lot of them are really interesting people. And I have always wanted to have a partner who paraglides. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet. I have had long-term partners who I've tried to get into it. Unfortunately, fear of heights has been a bit of a blockage there. But yeah, so you can see I like people who will be doing the activities that I love, that I'm really passionate about, to be doing those things with me. And if not, more importantly would be people who I can just connect to on an intellectual level. So, I do other activities like yoga, etc. But I'm not necessarily just only looking for men who do yoga. It's more about the way you perceive the world, etc. So James might give you a good example of this, but for him, a lot of the most influential women in his life, relationship-wise, have been women he's met through in bookstores, or like through that side of his life, because that's a really big point for James. Now,
that's great. Oh, she should also say, any questions you have, we really want this to be a Q&A, because we're here to serve, whatever, guys 45, particularly 50 and up, because you guys think, oh, no girls will be attracted to me, I got gray hairs, or that I got all these excuses. I'm not in the shape I used to be in my 20s or 30s. But you got all the stuff that Tess talked about, life experience. You're probably not a complete idiot in a restaurant. You've had, one of the most important things, you've had relationship experience, which is one of the things that younger guys just don't have. They might be fun for a week, but then a girl wants to actually have a relationship with them, it's just completely hopeless. The question I keep asking everyone is, would you want to date yourself when you were 25? There'd be some guys who'd say, yeah, whatever. I'm probably kidding themselves. Most men are going to be much more desirable to women, certainly in a relationship sense, probably in every sense, when they're 40 or 50 or potentially even 55. And the clients we've coached, we've had so much success with guys, just some of them dating guys in their 50s, dating exclusively in their 20s. It's really not that hard once you get a few things right. So we'd love to hear all your questions. And probably one of the biggest ones for, come on, Banner. Probably one of the biggest ones for older guys is, if you're a bit successful, I can get younger women, but how do I avoid the ones who want my wallet, not my penis? And there's a lot of them today. There's no doubt about that. So a lot of it's what Tess said. It's just touch, eye contact, body language, conversation skills. If you take one thing away from today, women want men who they connect with. They want a connection. Certainly beautiful women, like, a really attractive girl in her 20s and can pretty much have any guy she wants, at least for a night or two. But the ones the thing that really makes the difference is, do they have that connection? Do they have that long-lasting connection? I watched I think it's a great film from the Before Sunrise series last night. And the girl was talking about how she had all these guys come after her and she had these relationships, but she never really had that wonderful connection. She got this one time for this one night. So if you can really connect with a woman, that pretty much destroys everything else, which is why you got to have the basic skills, which is why we go on and on and on about what's most important to you in life and where do you go about meeting these girls. So I'm not saying, if you're really into books, you're really into yoga, you're really into the gym, or you're really into surfing or skiing or whatever, or jiu-jitsu, I'm not saying you can't get gold diggers in that environment. But if you're quite a successful guy and you're sort of waiting for the girls who come to you, then you're going to get gold diggers, because I mean, my first ever girlfriend, I was quite successful in finance, was basically a gold digger. And they're like, oh, the girls are sitting there going, what are we going to do this quarter, honey? We did golf lessons last time. We're doing sailing next time. And then, oh, let's go to the polo. They're just their entire life is just focused on where do I meet men with money? Where do I meet men with money? Where do I meet men with money? They get jobs as air hostesses, and they work in expensive hotels, and a lot of girls, they want to meet a dentist. So what do? They become a dental receptionist so she can meet a rich guy. Lots of girls talk about this. So yeah, biggest thing that a lot of guys are concerned about is, I can get a younger woman who's hot if you've got a bit of money, but I don't want to be desired for that. So yeah, we're here to answer your questions. So keep them coming in. Tess, do you want to talk a bit about how do I spot and dodge women who might come after my money?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, guys. So also just be aware that it's a lot about how you present yourself as well. If you're presenting yourself as a guy who's like flashing all of your money, taking women to expensive restaurants on a first date, and like showering them with gifts and whatever, and showing that your value is your money, that's how she's going to value you. And so that's not how to attract women, not how to attract women who aren't interested in that. So or not primarily interested in that. So be aware of how you are presenting yourself in a relationship as well, or presenting yourself to women when you're when you're trying to line up dates as well. So think about where you're putting yourself to meet the kind of women you're looking for. Also, potentially, what are some of the red flags for gold diggers? Women who are, I guess like women who are, asking questions like, how much money do you earn? What kind of car do you drive? Asking for gifts, those sorts of things. And also holding back intimacy as well for those things. They're all big red flags.
I shouldn't say too much, but I've had of my female coaches, I've had one female coach. I've sat in rooms and I've watched them coach the other girl how to get the red soled shoes that cost like $2,000 a pair for many of them, $4,000 for some boots. And I've had girls who they're like, oh yeah, so where are you gonna take me for a holiday and sort of thing. I'm just like, no, it's just you. It's like what we've talked about in some other YouTube lives. You don't make money a part of anything. You don't make a part of the attraction. You don't make a part of the seduction. You don't take her out to expensive dinners. You just don't do any of that. Tess, that we had this great video I got. You're probably better at it than me. I might just get to the next question, and then we're here for your questions too. But these are some we've asked before. Great one for older guys. Am I best to work in my health and fitness first and be someone I want to date and go out and travel myself? Look after number one. I might just cover the health and fitness thing. A lot of guys think, I've got to be this, I've got to be that, I've got to be this, I've got to be that, I've got to look like Brad Pitt in whatever Fight Club to get a girl. I'm not saying that can't help, but if you look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club, a girl sees you without your shirt off, unless she's like a little swimsuit model herself. Even if she is, she's like, I don't know if I want that guy to see those little tiny lines in my bum. And if you're just a regular girl, it's like, I can't. That's good for a night, but I don't know if I want to be around that the whole time. That's really intimidating for me. So the idea that you've got to look like a Men's Health cover model, I think is just a marketing concept that people have come up with to sell you a bunch of stuff. Testosterone is very important to women, but this idea you got to have this perfect body and muscles, I think it's just nonsensical. And if you go back through history and look at many of the greatest sex symbols of all time, a lot of them are really skinny guys. And most of the guys I met who were just outrageously good with women were not big, bulky guys. Tess, did you have any anything you wanted to talk about with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess that it is intimidating for women to be with someone who's yeah, just super ripped and that's all they care about. But I think more than just that intimidation factor, it's that guys who are just obsessed with their physique and that's it. It's like, what other hobbies do you have? What other interests do you have other than being in the gym and just spending all of your spare time there? They're usually quite superficial people who, their dating apps are flooded with like shirtless selfies and they're like pouting and it's really unattractive. It's honestly, it's the worst thing ever. So yeah, uh, women aren't, yeah, we're not as superficial as you might think in terms of your physical appearance. And like health and fitness are important, more so in that, like just a base level of good health and fitness is probably attractive to most women. And yeah, having some interests that involve like, yeah, being physically active, but not necessarily being that huge ripped gym guy. Yeah, I mean, for myself personally, I actually think that that's a turn off. And yeah, for the reason I'm just thinking like, what, that's not natural. This um like, get some other hobbies.
Tess, can I ask you a question? You've got the sort of the bodybuilder idea, but then you've just got a guy who's like muscular and ripped. Different women have different opinions on this, but I've
Yeah,
asked, I don't know, so many, it's not funny. When I was trying to sort of improve with women myself, and I was just fascinated by the psychology, I asked her, so what would you rather date? Like some 6'3" guy who's ripped, he looks like he's just hopped off the cover of Men's Health. He looks like a professional athlete. Not bodybuilder, it's just amazing body.
yeah,
Or would you rather date a guy with nice shoes? And she's like, oh, I think I'll go to shoes. I'm like, what the fuck would you say shoes? She was explain that to me, woman. How? I'm like, you can just take him out and tell him which shoes to buy. It takes years to get a body like that because it's not that important to women. They want your brains and your. I keep saying this more than anything else.
yeah,
Women are attracted to your ability, to their perception of your ability to climb status hierarchies. So if you've got this amazing body and crappy shoes, it's like, yeah, he just spends his whole time at the gym. He's a loser. He probably hasn't had many hot girls before because he doesn't know how to dress. So yeah, guys have this perception of women that's just so completely screwed up. I'm starting to see that women have a perception of men that's pretty screwed up too. So yeah, I mean, like one of my female coaches, Monique, you see her on some of her YouTube videos, the redhead, all the Indian men adored her. Monique's the most beautiful girl in all of creation. Yeah, yeah, she prefers a dad bod because she doesn't want to have to be a 21-year-old traveling around Europe catwalk model her entire life. She wants to just live normally and go out to dinner and eat at nice restaurants. She doesn't want this pressure to look like she did when she was 20. And Valeria, my Russian coach, she's like, no, man should be working on brain and wallet for me, not biceps for the other women's. So yeah, but it's one of the, it's like, I think it's just a con to sell more protein and more pharmaceuticals down the track, that every guy thinks he needs to be big and muscular because protein ages the cells. Obviously you want a fair bit of protein, you want healthy testosterone. Anyway, I better go on. A lot of people disagree with me on this. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. Tess thinks it's vain too. And Tess is like a sort of pretty serious athlete herself. So if she's not that fussed about muscles, I mean, I don't even know who was. Okay, I just thought I'd share this with you guys. I'm going to screw up tech-wise. A lot of guys say that our claims about our clients' success or how easy it is can be a bit overdone. I really don't think they are. I think it's quite true. So I'm going to make I'm not going to do this. Tess, can you play that video and share your screen, please? Do you know how to do that?
Ooh, you're testing me, James. I haven't done it in the past.
Okay, no worries. I'll do that. Let's move on to the next question. If you could start on that, I'll get the
Okay, thanks, James. Sorry, not
No
feeling
worries.
confident with that. Thanks. Okay, so how do I handle rejection without feeling like shit? Cool. Oh, hey Martin, thanks for saying hi. Hey guys, anyone else who has more questions as well? Chuck them in the comments.
This is it. I think
we're here to give you as much value as we can, help you with your biggest sticking points with women. So put your questions in the chat for me, and we can keep addressing them. How do I handle rejection without feeling like shit? Okay, so basically, this comes down to like, how much self-esteem do you have? Are you going to let one rejection ruin your whole day? You've got to, when you actually approach a woman, you have to know that you never know whether she has a boyfriend, like she's in a committed relationship, or whether what's going on in her life. Maybe she's like grieving, or she's super stressed, or just like not open at all to being with inviting someone into her life at that stage, whatever it might be. You have to know that you're not gonna get every single woman that you approach. That's just, there are two people in the game in that situation. It's not just you can't get every woman. So you have to be unattached to the outcome. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you go into a scenario where you're approaching a woman with the kind of mindset that's just open, warm, inviting, and you have good, warm energy, it's probably going to go well. But then still on top of that, she might be completely closed. So you have to know that, just take it as a learning experience, really. And when when you do meet someone who you actually have a real authentic connection with, that's undeniable, and then oftentimes, whether she is grieving or whatever else it might be, she's super stressed with work, she can probably look past those things when you have that, you're able to create that connection with someone. So how do you handle the rejection without feeling like shit? Yeah, it's about your mindset going into it to begin with. James, did you want to say something else?
I might jump in there because I'm actually a guy and I've dealt with a lot of rejection as part of being better and being a dating coach. I gave that question to Tess to answer. It's not the smart thing to say from a business or marketing perspective. It's just part of the game. It's just part of the game. The more skill you learn, if you do everything that social coach James and Tess offer, you can get insanely good at this and you won't get rejected very much. But when you do, it'll be much harsher. It's like, oh, this is Mr. Confident. This is the girl that everyone's after because you're so confident. And then the hot girls are like, they're just tearing you to pieces. It's just part of the game. Tess touched on some good points. You don't know what her day's been like. You could remind her of her ex-boyfriend. The girl might just be a bitch. You could have garlic on your breath, particularly in the pickup artist era. My second worst boot camp rejection ever came at a time when there was two other pickup artist boot camps. I can't remember if it was in LA or New York. It was one of those two. I think it was LA. And it's just like the girl just like, no, I'm not doing another one of these idiotic conversations with anyone. And she just cut me down pretty savagely. Immediately I sort of walked up into a corner and I had it. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But it happens to me very, very rarely. The other way to handle rejection is get really good at reading signals, because then you don't get rejected that much because you just spend most of your time talking to girls who you knew liked you. when I started doing boot camps around the world, I was a rather promiscuous young man. And I got some incredible reviews from clients who just being able to walk into a bar and somehow take one of the more attractive girls home. They go, oh, he's got insane levels of skill and all this. I'm like, don't know about insane, well above average. But the biggest skill I had was like I walk in, you know, and I walk a certain way. But I see the girls who are potentially interested in me. And I talk to them. I see the girls who are very interested in me because I got so good at reading signals. It's something we teach you. So I'm not saying I never get rejected, but it's a lot less than guys who are just going up blind going, you got long legs and a pretty face, I'm going to try to talk to you. Whereas I'm not doing that. I'm going like, oh, okay, she sort of flicked over her neck or she was doing this thing and looking over her shoulder. There's all these tiny, tiny little things I see that that mean I and my clients don't get rejected that much. We do get rejected. Anyone who says you don't get rejected is nonsensical.
Yeah.
The other thing is a lot of dating coaches like to send you out in the street chasing girls down like some desperate clown going, hey, I just want to come and say, I saw you over there. I think you're really beautiful. And I couldn't live with myself. I didn't come and say hi to you. Girls want to throw up. I'm not saying you never do hardcore street approach because that's great for getting over your anxiety. But if you think you're going to meet the love of your life that way, particularly in a Western country, if you go to a country where, you know, you're an American or something and you're a lot richer than all the other girls in Mozambique or something, I mean, street game might murder in Mozambique, but yeah, try that in LA or something. You need a lot of skill. So yeah, just don't do stupid approaches and that sort of thing. I'm just going to quickly share my screen and screw everything up, no doubt. I shouldn't. Where's my screen share gone? Okay, share screen. Hope there's nothing embarrassing on the screen. Entire screen. I think this is going to be really useful for you guys. Yeah. Come on, Safari, where have you gone? So there's a lot. I'm imagining there's quite a few guys over 50 here. Can you see my screen, Tess?
No, we can't. No.
He's screwed up again. That's because I haven't hit this share the screen button. My little tool makes it easy, but I'm a dipshit. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Oh, hopefully you can hear this. Can you hear it? That's going to be the problem.
But thank you so much for dinner. I had like a lot of fun. It was really good.
Tess, can you hear that?
I can hear it, yeah.
Yay! Thank you.
Right now the screen that I'm looking at is it's the slide screen. It's not the video.
Okay, sorry guys. This is going to be worth it. I swear to God. I got really excited when I saw this. Share screen. Entire screen. Oh my God, why is this so hard? Oh, I figured it out. Yay! I just need to share the window. Can you see a video now?
Yes, yeah, that looks good. Well done.
Can you hear a video? So for any 50-something guys watching, I'm one of you. This technology shit is really challenging for me. This catwalk model also solves some of my tech problems, many of my tech problems. Anyway, I think this is really going to help you guys. Watch carefully.
Okay, this is a lot. I just want to know if I'm taking you like home after this or no.
I have work in the morning. I'm sorry. I
So
can't.
this is it? Like I'm not gonna take you home?
No.
All right, well,
Is that an
we'll
issue?
split this then because I'm not gonna pay all this.
You can have my card. I wasn't even
Yeah, okay, good.
here.
Unless if you want to come home with me because I could
No,
gladly pay for
you
this
can
and
put,
take you.
no. You can put my card down. It's really not that much money.
Well, listen.
Do you have financial issues at home or something?
No, I just.
I can well over afford
listen,
that.
I just want to take you
Well,
home. And
I'm very offended that you think a girl like me would go home with you because you just bought my meal for me. Who do you think I am?
That's how it's supposed to be.
Who do you think you are?
That's how it's supposed to be.
And I never want to
Now
see your
we're
face
going to,
again. You're
because guess
disgusting.
what? This is it. Like I'm not gonna take you home.
But thank you so much for dinner. I had like a lot of fun. It was really good.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, where's it? How easy is it? That's his escalation skills. Okay, I'll play for dinner. Will you suck my dick? Harvey Weinstein School of Seduction. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, man. That's what you're competing against. You just need to do one or two of the things that Tess and I give you, and it's going to be so easy. If you guys found that valuable and encouraging and motivating, please share with me, because that's most of freaking dudes in our culture. They get into this red pill thing and the MGTOW thing and the pickup artist thing. The thing called women are, I can't even say the word, hypergamous, just climb for money. They just think all women are like that, and they think they're all horrible. I hear it all the time. It's like, how offensive is that to the girl? Are you a streetwalker, or can't I book you on your seeking arrangement page? It's insane. So yeah, hopefully that's inspirational for you. How low the bar is these days. Don't take girls out to dinner. Don't freaking take girls out to dinner. Across the table, you can't touch them. You're stuck opposite them for hours. You got to make cold conversation for like 2 hours, 90 minutes, like you've got the skills of the best conversation person in the world. It's hard. Whatever, I should be really good at conversation. It's hard for me to get laid after a dinner date. Plus anything else, if the girl's like a sort of a slim, modelly build, her stomach sticks out, her breath stinks, and your breath stinks even worse. And yeah, she's going to have your thing whacking in and out of her when she's bloated. It's not sexy. Just stop taking girls out to dinner, and don't take them out to dinner and go, oh, if I pay the bill, will you come home and have sex with me? It's not a good move. So did anyone find that like really encouraging? That's all you got to beat. Thank you, Martin. Some other people have seen it. Some people could say this could be a setup. I don't think it is. Anyway, guys, if you're over the age of 45, could you just say hi in the comments? We've probably got some younger guys on. Our actual YouTube audience, there's a chunk that's over 50, but we get people about 35 and up on average. 35 to 54 is our key demographic. So yeah, we'd love to handle any of your questions. David's there. Great to see you, David. Terrific. Okie dokie. Let me get back to the questions. Why do you guys wait for the hour mark and then you hammer us with questions? And Tess wants to go, and my skinny ass is starving. Let me see. That's a good one. How do I avoid toxic relationships in my 40s and 50s? Tess, if you've got something really meaty to start with, you start. If not, do you want me to? And you can add.
Yeah, go ahead, James. I've got a bit to talk about here, but yeah, I'll just quickly. I don't think that women are just toxic. I don't think there are just toxic women. I think there might be some women who have more susceptibility to becoming toxic, but I think that there are definitely like triggers that would make a woman toxic, and not just a toxic woman. Like, avoid a toxic woman. I mean, there would be some red flags maybe early on in the relationship to indicate that she might be more susceptible to becoming toxic. I don't think that I think probably every woman has the ability to become toxic if things if she's triggered. Yeah, and then certain women might be more susceptible to that triggering. But yeah, what did you want to say about it, James? And I'll expand on that a bit later.
I think Tess made a huge number of good points there, and she's predominantly right. But I think there are some women who are just toxic. I know. If you want to go from crap, like 90% aren't, but in today's culture, women are getting a lot more toxic than they've ever been before, probably. But yeah, if you're a guy who wants to get better with women, and you start learning the skills and you start putting yourself out there, you're dealing from a sample size of girls who are often single, often perpetually single. So the girls that guys practice on, and the promiscuous guys, like I was, we sleep with girls who are a lot more toxic than the general population, because the good girls, they'll tend to find a decent guy and spend 5 years in a relationship, 6 years in a relationship, 2 years in a relationship, even 6 months in a relationship. Whereas the toxic ones, they tend to sometimes have found a really dopey man and they're just sucking the marrow out of his bones. But they're often just guys they won't put up with them, so they just go from guy to guy to guy. So you'll find if you get promiscuous and you try to learn these skills, and there's a level of, no matter how good coaches Tess and I are, there's going to be a level of, you got to sleep with a few girls and kiss a few frogs and think, oh, this girl's amazing, she could be the mother of my children, and you find out 2 weeks later she's a complete freaking whack job. And the girls who are perpetually single tend to be much better at selling themselves up front because they need to, if that makes sense. Hopefully that was of value. How do I avoid it? Avoid making it about money, avoid making it about style. Meet girls through your hobbies and interests. That means there's more likely to be a legitimate connection than if you just get, because what the average man does, sorry to be rude about this, I would have been doing this up to 31, is you work hard on your career and you just go about things, and then some girl comes into work, or you meet your friend's sister, or you meet in your social circle, or maybe through apps these days, you meet the hottest girl you've ever had before, and she's not a complete bitch in the first 2 months, and she sucks your what's it pretty well, so you end up in a relationship with her, and then you're too much of a wimp to dump her. When it gets unhappy, you're just stuck in there. She presses you to move in, she presses you to get married, and then you're just stuck with that. So you basically settle for the hottest girl that the universe dropped in your dick. In many cases, she's come after you and wanted you. And then, you complain all women are toxic when you did nothing to go, or little or nothing to go out and find a good one who you really connect with. So, I get guys on my boot camp, and I meet guys just, women are bitches, and women do this, and they're so mean, and they just want money, and if you're not tall, they don't care about you. I'm like, but and you hear about the relationships, so or how you see how confident they are at maybe having a conversation on a date. It's like, no wonder you haven't had much luck with women, because you're really not bringing very much to the table apart from whatever's in your wallet. Tess, did you want to add that?
No, absolutely. It's about so when you have those things in common, then there's less likely to act out and become toxic, because I think one of the biggest things that makes women act out and become toxic is when either there's an issue in the balance of or the polarity between masculine and feminine in the relationship, but also when and that can, and also when you're not connecting on an intellectual or deeper level, where it can become really isolating for a woman. So obviously, feeling isolated, then the woman starts to feel like, she acts out because she feels the relationship doesn't feel like it's working. It's not she doesn't feel understood, because really what it comes down to is also that you potentially don't understand female psychology. And really interesting, I'm just going to put out this comment. Thank you, David, who said, after training with Tess and Natalia, I've noticed that guys are more toxic than women, which makes women toxic. So that's spot on, David. Exactly what I'm talking about. Obviously, I've been working with David for a while, and seems like he's got an understanding of female psychology. And so, you start to see all of these things come to light, where usually you can understand why a woman's acting a certain way, and rather than just labeling it as toxic, you're able to actually address that and diffuse it, or like nip it in the bud, so that it's actually doesn't become toxic. It just becomes something that you've worked through. And as I said, oftentimes that can come down to issues in terms of polarity between the masculine and feminine roles in the relationship. So I think that's an interesting topic of conversation. yeah. But women like to feel feminine in a relationship.
That's an incredible topic of conversation, actually. Congratulations, David. I mean,
Yeah.
that could well be comment of the month. Because this is what I hear amongst students, particularly some guys who've got money. This is the ex-girlfriend. This is how we treated. This is what happened. This is what she did to me. This is how nasty she got. And oftentimes you got the girl when she was sort of young and still attractive. And then she aged a bit or a lot. And then you were just a complete wuss, but she went after you for whatever, I don't know, whatever. But then because you didn't wear the pants in the relationship, I think Tess said that in a more intellectual way in terms of the male-female polarity, because you didn't wear the pants in the relationship, and she'd just start wearing those pants some of the time, her femininity just dropped, and it's hard enough for women in the West, particularly when they get into the corporate world, to keep any femininity. And then the masculinity, femininity, polarity just, and eventually it was you're more than her, and she's sort of being the man. Then she just savages you. She just goes after you with a vengeance. So a point making that all the whatever, the red pill guys, oh, yeah, women as bitches, they're just horrible, all of them. What they don't realize is because men in our culture have just been so bashed down since really the early 70s, from what I can tell, through our TV, through this extremes following Harvey Weinstein, through political correctness, through everything, is we're just so pathetic. And again, you could be a cage fighter or something, who makes a ton of money, but we're just so pathetic to women. So women are starting to wear the pants. And yeah, they don't like it. I mean, some of them might. They just don't like it. They just don't like it. And then they turn on you and they get savage and nasty, and they sleep with their Brazilian personal trainer, and anyway, whatever. Tess, you want to add to that? That's an amazing point. Thank you, David, for bringing it up, and thank you, Tess, for talking about it a lot.
No, I think it's interesting that you said that some of them think they might, because I think you're right. Some like women, we like to think that we can take on these roles and make every decision and have full control and whatever, wear the pants. But then when we do, it becomes conflicting, and it's like it doesn't work. And we become frustrated because then we're like, why am I having to do everything? And yeah, it's hugely frustrating. We just see the man as being weak and pathetic, and then we like pick on him and attack him, or complain constantly. So yeah, it's interesting that I don't think this is really tapping into what I was, our number 3 point, which was understanding more of the evolutionary side of things. I think a lot of women don't understand that about themselves as well. That they don't understand why why it's not working for them when they're assuming that role in a relationship. But yeah, what it really comes down to is that, like, yeah, women, we need to understand that we feel best when we are able to just have a man take on that role, the masculine role in a relationship. You might argue what is the masculine role, but yeah, evolutionarily that is being the leader, making decisions, protecting the family, that sort of thing. And yeah, women are on a deeper level attracted to those qualities. So yeah, this comes down to dynamics in the relationship, not just dating as well. But being the leader, making decisions, being proactive. What else? Do you want to add to that, James? Yeah,
it's just men have to be men and women want to be women. So if you're not a man in the eyes of women, again, you can be skinny as anything and pathetic, but like me, but if you're a man in the relationship in the female sense, that's why if you can't if you meet a girl by taking over a social situation and building attraction that wouldn't have been there before, that's, I think, something I really specialize in. Okay, girl I've got no chance with, particularly in my 50s. But if I talk to the right people and get on side with the other people, she's going to start becoming attracted to me because I'm the leader. And then, or if you just do some bold, cold approach, which works. But when you're starting to do bold, cold approaches on 9.5s and 9.75s and 10s, it's like it loses a lot of its potency because some guys come up and talk to me. Wow. It doesn't really affect her much. Whereas a more average girl, a really bold, skilled, cold approach can has some power. But yeah, if you can just be this Superman when you attract her, yeah, it's just you think you're 55, you think you're 62 or something, but yeah, it doesn't matter if you're that guy. It just really doesn't matter. And then you connect with her, and it all gets back to touch, eye contact, body language, reading signals, style, date planning. It's just getting those 7 or 8 things right. Even you don't even get them right. Just get a bit of skill in each area. It's like all these skills we talk about: touch, eye contact, body language, conversation skills, etc. They're like a chain. You need to have all the links need to have some strength, but you know, like you could have insane conversation skills. Like we coach lots of guys who've done pickup artist stuff. They've got insane approaching skills, but they're not very good at conversation, or they can't read signals, and they're useless. They're just risking a Me Too charge when they approach women. So you got to have all of them: touch, eye contact, body language, conversation skills. But okay. There's a girl, Tessa's in a bar and she's in a short skirt and whatever, push-up bra, and she's got a bunch of beautiful girlfriends around her and everyone can see her. And then this guy, and she's like, oh, that guy's talking to the barman. He's got a bunch of friends who look cool. He could be the leader of that group because I'm a woman. I can really pick up social status in a room like men can't see it for shit. He's not that hot, but he's like the most confident man in the environment. I kind of like him, and he's in the high value group in the room. She starts throwing signals at him. But the average guy in our culture, Australia, America, Canada, England, much of Western Europe these days, he's just like, oh, you think she's got a girlfriend? Or maybe I should go over chat to her. Yeah. Or, yeah, it's a bit early to start approaching girls. Maybe just have a drink or two and I'll get around to it later. It's just all these freaking excuses. Whereas there'll be some guys who read what's going on, like, okay, and then 2 minutes later, like, hey, how you doing? Or the smarter ones, what I'd do is I'd try to meet the people around her first. But if she's already invited you to talk to her, do that. And then it's like when that happens, the guy in the woman's brain, and in many cases she might be wrong, in the woman's brain, the guy who was straight up to her or soon up to her and did it skillfully, he's the alpha male because he's proving the single most attractive thing to women according to all these PhD people. They want guys who they perceive have the ability to rapidly rise up status hierarchies, far more than tall, rich, handsome. So if you can demonstrate you have the ability to rapidly rise up status hierarchies, if you can demonstrate that in the first few seconds or first 2 minutes you meet a girl, it's like your value is just off the charts. I mean, you're suddenly destroying the tall, handsome, rich guys or whatever, or the surgeons. So, but then the guys who can't do that, so the woman's predicting 10 years later, the guy who's good at cold approaching or good at taking over social situations to attract a girl he wants who's out of his league, she's thinking this is going to be a leader. If he loses his job, if there's a recession, if there's a zombie apocalypse, he's going to be forming social coalitions and protecting me and my offspring. Whereas the crazy guy who is too scared to walk up to me, a 59 kilo, 5'10" hot girl in a tight skirt and who's not going to have any chance of hitting him. The guy is too scared to walk up to me. I mean, what sort of complete wuss is he? And so often the cage fighters are the most scared with women. So hopefully that was of value to you. Yeah, give me feedback on my rants. I think that's incredibly valuable to my clients, but to a YouTube audience, I don't know, it might be a bit advanced. So yeah, women correlate what they see in their interaction with you with what you'll be like in the boardroom, with what you'll be like in a recession where everyone's losing their job, what you'll be like in a zombie apocalypse. What you'd be like if all the preppers were right and the world's coming to an end for whatever reasons. I probably
What
said
you'd
this
be like in
before.
the bedroom
Sorry?
too.
Sorry?
Said what you'd be like in the bedroom too.
Yeah. Is it okay if I kiss you? Or should I put a condom on now? Is it okay to make love? Or should I stick it in? Are you ready? Yeah, she's like, this guy. Yeah, so.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it just made me have a thought as well, James. I don't know if you like this just clicked to me. You know how a lot of women have the fantasy of like the rape fantasy, which is like obviously no one wants to be raped, but
Oh, yeah.
it's like a common one that women like the rape fantasy, right? It's true. And what's behind that? Why do women think that they want that? And I think it comes down to them being yeah, like not in control and kind of having someone who knows who's who's taking the lead and taking the initiative, and she doesn't have to make decisions. And so these are all really important things in like date planning as well, but that also correlates to the bedroom. So yeah. Obviously, there's a really funny movie actually. It's called The Little Death. There's an interesting, there's a funny, uh, yeah, if anyone's watched it, really funny theme about the rape fantasy. Because I think realistically, no woman actually wants to be truly raped. But what's behind the fantasy, right? It's about having that man who actually yeah, he'll take the initiative.
Okay, boys, this is from my advanced training, but you just need a password. It's like, yeah, it's one of the most pronounced female fantasies of all. So just make sure none of her friends can hear when you're role playing these fantasies, because yeah, you've got to get away from that guy. He's 20 years older than you, and he's a nutcase. But yeah, I've done acting training, so yeah, if you read any sort of proper study of female psychology, I mean, that's one of the big ones. Some of them like various creatures that aren't human as well. That's another popular one as well. That I haven't gone down that path, boys. But this is turning into a biology lesson. Yes, if you look at our closest relatives in the animal kingdom, it's the chimpanzees and the various apes and monkeys, and then also the dolphins. They're very, very close to us. If you look at their mating patterns, there tends to be a lot of violence where coalitions of alpha males form and they go dominate and take over the women of a different tribe of dolphins. I don't know if dolphins have tribes. And then yes, it's rather nasty what goes on. So yeah, sort of a bit of evolution behind that. And then people think, oh, but yeah, but they're dolphins or they're monkeys. Go to bloody Papua New Guinea. If anyone is a bit of a reader like me, what's the line? What are you reading a book for? Is it for school? I think that's one of my favorite comedians, Bill Hicks. Germs, Guns, and Steel explains all of this. It explains a lot of it. So, yeah, it's very, very important. So a lot of the reason a lot of the reason many creatures are here is because of violence in our ancestors. Apparently, up to quite recently, nearly all wars between humans were a competition over fertile women and beautiful women. So it still sort of is. I mean, we just fight in the boardroom these days. we don't use like picks and swords and knives and shields and that sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully that rant was worthwhile. Yeah, sorry, my David Attenborough impression's not that good, but I don't think he got too much into the whatever the anthropology of rape fantasies or something, if that's the right word. Martin, is that film that Tess mentioned any good?
It's really good. I really like it. Yeah, it's an interesting. I think it's an Australian film actually. The Little Death, but it's called The Little Death because in French, I think like an orgasm is called The Little Death, and it's about different sexual fantasies, but it's also a comedy. So yeah, it shows, it's like the story of 5 different couples, but they're all interlinked in different ways. I think it's a great watch. It's funny.
I'll check it out. IMDb is not like it. Martin hasn't seen the film. I can't believe that. What's this? I'm going to make sure. Don't allow her to film. Yeah. I just say this carefully. When the Harvey Weinstein started, I was a big fan, because it's about a crackdown on power, on savage misuse of power, to treat women appallingly and get away from it because you're such a genius producer, who just, people hand out Oscars. So that guy was an absolute, like, a woman won't sleep with him. He ruins their career. Just what a, whatever. So initially I was happy with where it went because of I worked in a bank where I saw similar sort of things. The only women who ever got promoted to manager roles had slept with guys, so some of the toxic women were promoted. But then it sort of got a bit crazy. But the thing is, there's a lot of stuff that women want that I can do really well, and I can teach my students to do really well, that we're too scared of now, because it's like, you know, you've got to be careful here. I mean, people, there's other YouTubers who whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's something that is very pleasurable to women. But if you do that today, you're a moron. You can't, all these things that you could probably do with a girl who wasn't completely toxic, you know, a decade ago, that you're like, man, do I really want to leave my thumbprint on a woman's neck? Just, she goes down the police station. Next thing you know, yeah, I'm experiencing anal sex for the first time. It's like, yeah, so it's like a lot of this stuff hasn't been particularly. Tess doesn't think I'm funny, but she liked that one. So anyway, I got Tess to laugh. It's
so
the hardest thing.
The expression on your face, you look really like. Sorry.
Yeah, I grew up in Perth. I believe that's the second most homophobic place in the world after Saudi Arabia last time I checked, but at least when I was a boy. Not something on my wish list of things to happen to me. Bit of backdoor action in a prison whilst restrained. So yeah, anyway, hopefully this is useful to people. Don't allow her. Don't allow her. Yeah, I mean, I haven't done that thing since the whole whatever post Harvey Weinstein era. I don't know if I would do it again, because you're going to really upset a lot of people, and a lot of women, because they've never been FUCKED properly. They don't even understand they've got these fantasies until whatever happens. Your questions, guys. Lots of comments about our thing, but what are your questions? Okay, if you let us know who's over 45 and how can we help you break through and get the women you really want. Many times it will be younger, sometimes it's higher quality. How can it be toxic? We are really, 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 really effing good at this. I've been doing it for 19 years. What's the next boot camp? We've got 2 flying from LA, New York, and South Africa, all the way to Sydney for 3 days, 3 days and a night. Who would do that? Who would fly across the world? I mean, how long does it take to fly from New York? Like 24 hours? It's like longer than London sometimes. So we're really good at this, and Tess is the best female coach you've ever had. So yeah, what are your sticking points if you're over any age? You can be, if you've got sticking points at 12 and you've come to our YouTube live, we'll help you. But especially guys over 45, how can we help you? We've got some standard questions. We might do one.
Yeah, there was a question that came through. Donnie's asking, hey, Tess and James, in this day and age, screening calls and texting is the new norm. When asked them out on the first date, calling them is more confident, but is texting okay?
this is going to be a roundabout answer. Never, ever leave it so you've got to ask a girl out by text or phone. No hot girl is going to pick up a phone if she doesn't know who it is. So you got to get the number in the phone. That's step one. What I do, Sunday of our boot camp and in our online course, we give you like a masterclass in date planning. I've asked many dating coaches with much bigger followings than me, oh, so do you teach date planning? And they go, what's that? And I probe to see if they've got other ways for it. It's like they're not dating coaches, they're approach coaches. They just teach you how to approach, nothing else, which is very true for many of the biggest players. So you have to have a date plan. There's virtually nothing you can do that will get you such a huge ROI in your time as having a really good date plan. So what you do is you don't go, oh, hi, Tess, you're really pretty. Really enjoyed meeting you here today. I'd love to potentially have this experience again. Could I possibly get some contact information from you, please, so I can maybe contact you in the future? Maybe have this experience again. Is that possible? Could I get your contact details? Don't use contact information as a euphemism for phone number, because she's going to be less offended by giving contact information than phone number. What marketing pickup artist put this nonsense into the world? So basically, you do get her number, but what you do first is find out her availability and sell her your date plan, which you can book a call with Tess, and she'll help you come up with an amazing date plan. We don't tend to do it on the first call because if you ask, we can do it. But yeah, you got to have a date plan. So under no circumstance, pre-COVID, this was a big chunk of my boot camp on the Sunday, helping guys do date plans, helping them get a good date plan, helping the date plan be near where they live. The date plan accommodates if they've got kids or they live in the suburbs or something. And you have one-step date plans, you have two-step date plans. So the core thing is, do not get a girl's number and expect her to pick up the phone, especially if she's hot. And really, you should be optimistic about getting her to text. The thing with girls and guys and texting is, I'm not saying Tess would do this, but many attractive girls, they'll be texting a guy back and forward, and they'll be like, oh, Jonathan from Friday night texted me back. I'm sending it to my 5 best girlfriends and we'll have a brainstorm about it. Oh, we'll ask ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok too. What do you think I should text back, honey? Whereas you're busy at work and you're like, oh, that's that girl I really like. Oh, well, okay. If you're as dumb as me, you go, oh, hey, Tess, it was really good to meet you. Let's catch up on Friday. And you just dictate the thing. And then she ghosts you because she's had a team of particle physicists and rocket scientists working on the exact thing to text back. These days, double checking with AI, and you just did it in 2 seconds. Don't start texting women. It's asinine. It's insane. It's stupid. It's mindless. You got to get them to agree to a date. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time on planet Earth. You might as well change teams and learn to suck a dick, because it's going to be a much easier life for you. It's much more straightforward in the homosexual community amongst men. So yeah, in this day and age, screening calls and texting is the new norm. When asking them out on their first date, do it in person when you meet them. If the girl doesn't like you in person, if she's not amped enough to agree to something in person, how the hell are you going to sell it to her in text? You need to be James Joyce or William Shakespeare or something.
There is, I think, there is the scenario where potentially you haven't had enough time to build the rapport around building connection and forming your date suggestion around whatever that might be. So, maybe there's a time constraint or whatever it might be where you weren't able to get her to agree to the date by talking about what that might be. Then sometimes you do need to rely on texting or calling. There is, in some scenarios you do have to rely on that. And I agree that, calling is definitely shows a lot more confidence. And you'll, the woman's put on the spot as well. Like, if she doesn't want to pick up your call, then she won't. And that's why a lot of women prefer to text, because there is that barrier. She can think about how she wants to respond before she does. But yeah, just be aware that texting, it's a bit lower likeliness that she's going to respond. She'll put more thought into her response. Let's say she's not on the spot. So calling can that might mean that she's thinking about saying no. More time to think about saying no. So yeah, calling, I think, shows more confidence and potentially is a better approach if it comes to that. But texting's okay. I mean,
I've asked a lot of women about this, including attractive women. It would be interesting if someone did a study of the propensity of a wanky word, likelihood of a 15 to 20s, 20 to 25, whatever, even decades, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. Because I believe, and I've asked a lot of girls this, some girls are just too nervous to pick up the phone if they like a guy. Because like, oh, what do I say? I'm not prepared. I don't know what to do. Because women particularly if you're here looking for younger women, they haven't been trained with phones like us. Like if you're over 50, your first experience of asking a girl out on the phone was like, there's probably, if you're in America, it's like a bunch more times. And then they had the touch thing. It's like, oh, hello, Mr. Johnson. Is Tess there, please? Can I have a word? Who's that? My name's James. I met her at the bookstore. So it's a completely different world. So yeah, women, if you want to date women in their 40s, maybe they'll pick up the phone. But yeah, I'd love to see some data on hot young girls picking up the phone from anyone, especially if they've got a bunch of grey going. I mean, even Leonardo DiCaprio be like, oh, it's Leo. What do I say? I'm not wearing, oh, you won't even see me. It's the phone. It's just they're too scared. So yeah, it's a different thing. It's a different thing. I got a compliment about my comedy. One of the funniest things anyway, I was terrible with girls, but once I was in a friends group, I was fairly confident. Anyway, a girl who I would have been a little bit sexually attracted to, who had a lot in common, she broke up with like my best friend at the time. And it's like, I'm an Australian. I mean, sleeping with your friends, your close friends' girlfriends is like pedophilia. It's just, you do not do that. That's against Australian mateship. Do not ever cross that line. That's horrendous. Europeans are a bit different. So anyway, his ex-girlfriend rings me up. No, I ring her. She rung me, and I rung back. Again, this is like 4. And so I ring back. I can't remember the name. He's like, hey, how you doing? I got a brother, and I can't remember her name now. Hey, hi, it's James. Mandy called me. Can is she there now? She goes, Mandy, Mandy, and then I hear a scream going. Mate, she's taking a shit. Can she call you back? David! Anyway, that's a true story. So hopefully that people are tuning off. That if they want comedy, they'll go to Doug Stanhope or Bill Hicks. That's a true story. But hopefully it illustrates my point quite well. Getting younger, attractive girls to pick up the phone is very difficult. It's very difficult. So yeah, you got to have a solid date plan. You got to have a solid date plan, and you got to get good at selling the date plan. And then life can become a hell of a lot easier, because if you think of dating as a funnel where you meet them, you talk to them, you attract them, touch, eye contact, body language, all these little steps. And you got the crucial step of, you're not able to sleep with her when you meet her, which is usually the case if you're more relationship material. So then you've actually got to somehow bridge that enormous gap to the second meeting, which is, it's it's harder than getting the girl from the date back to your place in the bed. That's one of the hardest things of all, getting the girl to actually show up. And if you're calling, it's asinine. If you're texting, it's really, really hard. So whatever the funnel is, she likes me, she likes me, she likes me. But then you've got this gigantic drop where you got, you meet there's still some girls who like you. You meet 100 girls, there's 20 of them who like you, and then you've actually got to get them to show up for another date. It's like, I just lost 15 of them. If they're attractive because you tried to do it by text message. So yeah, get a date plan, learn how to sell a date plan, and yeah, your life will be very, very different. And as I said, many dating coaches I've asked go, what's a date plan? Some of them probably watching this, or a lot of them will. Some of them will definitely copy my stuff. I've had the best marketer of dating coaches in the world admit this to me. Anyway, enough about that. Any more questions? Oh, here's a good one.
Go ahead, James.
You control the questions, Tess.
Yeah, Mark had actually a good comment. What do you say? I'm 56 and I've had much greater success with women than in my 20s. I'm similar to James insofar as being slim, full head of brown hair and few wrinkles. You need skills, but being youthful helps. Yeah. So I think being youthful as in, here we go. He's saying being youthful, not immature, is a great personality trait. So yeah, you've got to have the energy as well to appeal to younger women. Definitely. That's great. Yeah, great to Mark saying he's had the success with women, much greater success, in his 50s than in his 20s. So you've got a lot going for you as a 50-year-old. Life experience, it really comes down to women are attracted to that. So that's cool, Mark, that you're agreeing with us there.
I might just touch on that one, Tess. It's probably what we said at the start. Young, intelligent women want older men. And the more intelligent they are, often the better socioeconomic background they come from, the more they want older men. You just need to get it into your thick head. Quality women generally don't want to date men their own age. Some of them do, and there's some remarkable, very young guys. I've coached some guys who had horrible, difficult childhoods where they basically had to become the father and provider of the family young because some man left and the woman was toxic and crazy. And the man and the young guy I coached, he was sort of essentially being a father and a provider from like his teens. So it was an extremely high caliber young man, but that's not common. Most of us just go to school, play some sport, drink, go to university, try to get laid, fuck around a bit, maybe do a tour in Europe or get drunk in Bali a few times. You don't really have much going for you in your 20s, but a lot of you do in your 50s, especially the relationship experience. I've said before, the number of what I consider to be high quality women who just seem to date guys who've already got kids, which you think would be really unattractive. Like, why do I want a guy who's already had kids before? That's like a serious, in terms of a woman's value, or attractiveness, as soon as she's had a kid, it's just complete crash. Whereas for a man, I think there's almost an argument today that it actually improves things. Okay, healthy is sexy. Healthy is sexy. Healthy is sexy. It's extraordinarily sexy for women. And yeah, obviously, social skills, confidence, ability to climb status hierarchies is the most important thing for women, but health is really important too. That's why, I teach health as much as dating. And if I'm showing off, find a wrinkle if you can. I don't think there is one. There's this little bit of gray, but then find some gray hair. Well, I don't even know what I'm doing. I've got to mirror the camera. There's a tiny bit underneath, and I'm 54. And I've had a very, very stressful life compared to most people. So yeah, it's sex for a lot of girls much younger than me, which I think helps. But yeah, health is everything. Mark, what are your anti-aging secrets? But yeah, I don't know. When you look at the biohackers, I mean, a lot of them dye their hair when they're my age, and they spend their entire life thinking about this. Next comment, Tess.
Yeah. Question from Nenad. Nice to see you here again, Nenad. So how long would a reasonable time be to form rapport with a girl in order to ask her out? Good question. I'm not going to tell you 2 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour, an hour. It depends. If you're able to build rapport really quickly because you have the skills to do so, you could potentially be asking her out, within I don't know, like not long. And especially when you've layered on top, building some sexual tension. So there's actually she's attracted to you. She wants to go on the date with you. I don't know, reasonably. I don't know, like if you did it really well, like I don't know, like 15 minutes or something. If you don't have the skill to do that, it's going to take you a lot longer though. And yeah, the biggest thing is, if you're asking for the date before before you've been able to impress her, then it's probably not going to go well. So how long depends on your level of skill. That's the answer.
That is a fantastic question, Ninad. That's a fantastic question. You've probably seen all these guys running around on YouTube. I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff sorted and coaches hired so I can start doing more of that. You can go to jail in Australia for doing cold approach. I do it completely differently. Most cold approach you see on YouTube is entertainment to get YouTube views and retain YouTube views. It's not dating coaching. It's horrific dating coaching. So what those guys give you an impression of is you can walk up and go, hey, I saw you over there. You look really cute. What's your story? And you can walk up to a girl and then you could just talk to her for 5-6 minutes. And then you could actually get her number and then she'll give you the number. It doesn't care. It's the path of least resistance. But the idea that you can talk to a girl for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour and get her to show up on a date is pretty fanciful to me. You will need some pretty mad text game to do that. The guy who popularized this, who is actually a legit dating coach, he could have walked into any male modeling agency in Manhattan and probably got jobs within a few days. He was a beautiful, beautiful man who also went to Harvard. So yeah, that shit works for him. And you're sleeping with a lot of girls nowhere near as attractive as him. But for the average guy to just walk up to a girl and talk to her for 5 or 10 minutes and expect, oh shit, I just killed my phone. And expect it's going to turn into like something serious. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So what you need to do is before you even think about asking a girl out, you need to build a lot of rapport. You need to build a lot of connection. You need to uncover commonalities. You've got to prove to her that you're a man. You've got to get the touch right. You've got to get the body language right. You've got to get the body positioning right. Once you get all this stuff done, if you can throw some social proof in, it's even better. Once you get all this stuff done, she's gagging for you to ask her out, give her your phone number. Until you get to that level, she doesn't care. She, here's my phone number. And as soon as you ask for the phone number, you're showing your hand. Because she's like, oh, is he going to ask me out? Is he going to ask me out? Is he going to ask me out? And if you give that validation to her too early, you've just screwed your chances in most cases. Everything that comes out of my mouth is to help you get a girl who's probably out of your league, probably well out of your league, who you sit and dream of. That's what I'm talking about. If you just want to run through a whole bunch of average girls, then there's probably dating coaches who are much better than me. I can help you do that, but there's guys who know more about that than me, particularly if you, get a good Instagram page and scrape them off dating apps or something, or you just do the bar and nightclub stuff, but you're probably not going to get the girl you want for that. So yeah, you need to build a lot of rapport. How long would it take? I don't know. I mean, the idea that you're going to get a girl to show up on a date, if you've a girl who's out of your league who you really like, the idea you're going to get her to show up on a date if you haven't talked to her for half an hour and touched her and displayed some skills, I think is pretty unlikely. It's probably a bit of a struggle for me with whatever level of skill I've got. if you're a 8.5 man and the girl's a 6 girl, it's easy because there's this gap and she wants to step up. But if you're a 7 man and you're chasing 8 or 9 girls, which is essentially what people pay Tess and I for, then you get no chance. The only exception is if you've demonstrated very big social proof or you've given some indication you've got money. So yeah, I hope that was a good answer to your question. So you need to leave some time. That's an excellent question. These are some of the things that never make their way onto YouTube. That's just so important for guys to understand. If you're asking a girl out 3 minutes, I mean, it's meaningless. Nothing's going to happen. It worked for that guy who looked like a male model who was very, very confident. But they're just like, I want to screw him. Went to Harvard, lives in the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Yeah, yes, I'll do it. But it's not going to. He wouldn't have got high quality women that way. He may have, but not many. You want to go to the next question, or did you want to touch on that, Tess?
No, I think I did my bit on that one. Yeah, it depends on your level of skill is what my answer was.
That's true as well.
Yeah. So we've got. Oh, Mark had another comment just quickly, leading on from what he said earlier, that he's more successful in his 50s than he was in his 20s. And he says he thinks it comes down to his genetics, eating well and staying stress-free, like James, never married, no kids, seeing a stunning 32-year-old. Confidence was the key, not arrogance. So, yeah, the big thing there is confidence. Absolutely, yeah. So, generally speaking, yeah, in your 50s, you do have a lot more confidence, and that comes from your life experience, knowing who you are, having higher self-esteem. It's so confidence is huge when attracting women. Sorry. So yeah, that's great, Mark. There is a question here.
I might touch on that. I keep saying, what's the number one thing women are most attracted to? It's their perception of your ability to rapidly climb up status hierarchies. That's the ultimate alpha male in the modern world. It always has been. Like, which chimpanzees get the hottest women? The biggest one, the strongest one? No, not even close. And people have studied this in detail. It's the ones who form coalitions of other high status chimps and dominate everyone else. Women want the ability to rapidly climb up social status hierarchies. It's everything. Now, that's just a wanky way of saying confidence. Women want confidence. Women want confidence. Women want confidence. That's it. That's all they want. If that's all you've got, you'll kill it. You'll absolutely destroy it. How do you get confidence? Touch, eye contact, body language, reading signals, date planning, style, understanding female psychology, and elite level conversation skills. So that's basically a definition of confidence, and it's a formula for confidence. This is most of what we do. One more thing, sorry. Arrogance and confidence. Yes, confidence is key, but in many cases they have a lot of overlap. Is Michael Jordan confident? Yes. Is he arrogant? Better freaking believe it. Is Steve Jobs confident? Yes. Is he arrogant? Probably even more so than Michael Jordan. So yeah, the idea that you can't be a little bit arrogant, you don't want to be too arrogant, but that shit really works. Because women want guys who are just crazy sure of themselves. I'll say one more thing. That's why guys who actually are starting, what do you call it, dark triad traits, that's why a lot of these guys do really, really well. I think Ted Bundy, apparently, Google this or AI, Ted Bundy, the serial killer, had like dozens and dozens of marriage proposals. Like, there's all these great guys sitting at home, jerking off to porn, watching Netflix, wasting their life away. But serial killers get girls. Apparently, he's very charismatic, etc., etc. Plus, something in women's psychology, like we were talking about before, is fascinated with true crime. Tess?
Yeah, no, James, sorry, Mark is just saying, P.S. I attended your boot camp 8 years ago, still use those skills. Awesome, Mark. That's really great to hear. Yeah. We did have
This is what happens to nearly every student. They do the boot camp and then they're dating, in their 50s, they're dating some girl 20 years younger than them who's fucking amazing. And many of them make much more money. So thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
If you tell me a
We
bit
had-
about you, I love when my clients rock up.
Yeah, nice to have you here, Mark. Definitely. I might not have met you, but yeah, awesome to have you here. Thank you for your contribution. There's a question from Adam here. He's got a bit of a story about experience he's had with another dating coach, but he's basically just asking about some details for what we do. Do you want me to put that up, James?
Yeah, put the question up.
I'll
Thanks
just
for
go
being
through.
on top of all the tech stuff so much.
Yeah. So Adam says, "Hey, I signed up with a dating coach named Phil Social Fitness. Sorry, Phil, if we're naming and shaming you here. It was the worst experience. Phil took me to a group of guys at the establishment. At the establishment. I was the new guy. We went to hang out with the boys, and I was told by Phil that I wasn't part of the group. I would have to sit by myself and watch his students talk to people. He said that I would be observing in the corner and that I shouldn't talk to anyone as that would steal thunder from his group. I didn't stay for long and I soon left. He messaged me the next day to say, "Hey man, you should sit closer to us next time. You're still not part of the group, but you can sit near us to feel included." And then Adam's question is, if I sign up to your business, would that be a similar experience? Okay, Adam, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. That sounds horrendous. No, that's terrible. No, we would never treat a client that way. Not at all. We've had a few clients here join us today, say some nice things. But no, not at all. When we commit to being your coaches, we're fully dedicated to that. And yeah, you are a part of the community, you're a part of the group. We hold your hand the whole way. So James, we'll talk about what we do as a package maybe a bit later, but it starts with training first on Zoom. So do a lot of preliminary training in the lead up to a boot camp. And then at the live event, you've already got all of these conversation skills, and we've talked about other things like escalation, date planning, all the stuff we've talked about. And then when it comes to the boot camp, you're just putting all of that stuff together, focusing more on the non-verbal aspect of that and the escalation stuff, and then practicing in real life. So there's no sitting in the corner and watching other people. It's very hands-on. You'll be doing everything. James, did you want to add anything to that?
I don't even know how to handle that question that before. It's probably better I don't say anything. We haven't done this for a while, but I think it really provides quite a bit of context and value to you guys if I can get the right screen. Tess, did you want to add anything to his comment about your opinions on what happened to him? I can't believe that. How much did they charge you out of interest?
We could know how much they charged you, Adam. It sounds like I don't know. This person sounds like an amateur, but I'm really, really sorry to hear about that. James, I think James is going to go through a little bit more information about what we actually do to give you a better idea, Adam, of what it actually involves. So you'll see some photos of what it looks like as well when you're actually on an event, what the sort of interaction level is. And
Okay. Tess, can you see my screen yet?
No.
Oh, it's because I haven't shared it.
Here we go.
Okay. Now I just got to find the right button. Okay, the beautiful Tess will be back very, very soon. I think if I start talking, he's killed it.
Ooh, oh my God. It's screen inception.
I'm one of you guys. I'm in my 50s. Technology is really baffling to me, even though I still date women 20 or 25 years younger than me or more. Yes. Anyway, this is me. I was the Michael Jordan of atrocious. Like you've never met a guy who was worse with women than me. A bunch of people have given me the Pepsi challenge who have eventually given up and gone, nah, you're worse than me. So I fell for the myth that they cleverly sell to every man in our culture. If you build it, she will come. If you get the biceps and the German car and the Swiss watch and the cool apartment, the men's health body and the beautiful Italian or German clothes, the women will just come after you. Is there truth in that? If you get enough of it, yeah, there probably is, but that's just attract the most toxic women. I became an extremely highly paid financial advisor. I still couldn't get a date unless she knew about my professional success or had an idea how much I was earning. Most of my friends did. They had no troubles getting women, but they got the most toxic women on the planet. And it's like, whatever, I'm late 20s, early 30s, making a ton of money. And it's like I see my friends' relationship, my other successful friends' relationship. It's like they spend like half an hour a day on the phone with this girl just railing at them. What do I do? A lot of them lost a lot of money out of it. So yeah, so a Wonder Woman, but they just seem scary and awful and disgusting to me. So I copied Tony Robbins, who helped me go from poor to, very, very comfortable in my 20s. This is in the 90s, not now. And tech is so easy to make money as a young kid. Look at Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of them. So if you want to be successful, find someone who's achieved the results you have and copy what they do and achieve the same results. So within 18 months of essentially being a virgin, I did a tiny interlude of whatever pathetic sex that might even qualify as intercourse before that. And then I probably actually had proper intercourse. And then within 18 months of that, within 18 months of essentially being a virgin, I met her, who was a model who's, I don't know, I could go on for an hour about how much she changed and made my life better. And I wouldn't be a dating coach if it wasn't for her. And then I should do a better, I haven't even enhanced these photos, I picked good ones. And then there was so many girls, 30 countries, 33 countries, probably 50, 60 different cities of the world, and many other, like tons of Americans and Swedish and Germans, blah, blah, blah. I'm not in the sort of thousands Wilt Chamberlain club, but the thing about me is a lot of them are models, and nearly all of them had university degrees. They were what I consider high quality women. You can see some of them there. These girls are like proper modeling agencies. Some of them fly around the world. Anyway, you don't need to do that. And then after meeting this girl, I haven't even bothered enhancing the photo. I don't think she's got much makeup on there. What a body. And you can see me. What a disgusting piece of shit that is. Tess, would you ever sleep with this guy? I don't think so. You'd be mortified and killed. And yeah, so I got offered a dating coach after pulling her. She was a fly around the world model for Elite, the world's biggest agency. And yeah, so the problems I had that most of my clients have are you can't approach. You can't stay in a cold conversation. You don't know how to make a move. You don't plan your dates. You're scared of the women you really want. None of your friends are any good with women. You got no wings. So even if you go out with them, they drag you down. You need to understand women's psychology and Tess. This is Tess's favorites. You're not that confident in bed. You rely on the internet or, putting a bunch of alcohol in you to actually meet girls. And the biggest mistake of all, particularly for successful guys, is you settle for a girl, the hottest girl land on your dick, and then basically you don't even want to be alive anymore. And if you've got kids, it's like you're just the worst father because so much of your energy just goes in the toxic energy and problems the girl's throwing at you. So yeah, I started off like every other dating coach. You meet me, I take you out to bars, you watch me do a few approaches, I give you a bunch of tips and give you some rough touch tips. I also took guys to bookstores, which not many people were doing, so I wanted high quality girls. And yeah, I got incredible results. So one of those guys still comes to my YouTube lives after sleeping with the Lord knows how many great girls. This is going back nearly 20 years. When I started being a dating coach, I had threesomes before, but I can't be changing my girlfriend every 2 weeks and run a business. So I just got 2 girls at a time who are bisexual. I had a series of them, but yeah, one of them, the one on the right, lasted pretty much 4.5 years. And they were way younger than me, 18 and 25, and I was 40. I stayed with them for 5 years to whatever the maths are. And yeah, we had holidays together, we had Airbnbs by the beach, picnics by the beach, picnics in the park, lots of hiking meditating in the bottom of the Blue Mountains or some beautiful forest we found, and then 5 hours of sex. Yeah, the beach, SeaWorld, zoo. I tend to date girls who are animal lovers. That's a big thing for me, because I am, and nature lovers. And yeah, I just started going, oh, well, I'm getting so much results in my boot camp for my students. Why don't I bring my girlfriends in, and just everything that I want them to do when they approach a girl at a bar or a bookstore or a street, I'll get them to practice on my girlfriends. And yeah, bit conceited. It was like an apple hitting Newton in the head. It's like, wow, I founded the greatest scientist of all time. And my results, which were good already compared to every other dating coach I knew, just went completely insane. Completely insane. And yeah, I toured around the country with the girls to sort of do marketing as well. We might just play this. Haven't done it in a while.
One of the ways that the bootcamp has improved my...
Can you hear this, Tess? Tess, could you hear that?
One of the ways that the bootcamp has improved my life.
I don't know what's happening. Tess, could you hear that? Oh, sorry, you're not there. I apologize. I can't see. I'm not looking at the screen because I'm an old man who's dopey with tech. Oh, he's killed it. He's killed it. Silly old fool.
One of the ways that the bootcamp has improved my life was by being able to go through, dating one girl a year, it might be a 5 or 6, to dating several, 3 or 4 girls at the same time, who are amazing, and 8s and 9s, really got it right, really intelligent, beautiful, most of them professional. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to getting to a point where I can meet, my life partner. Yeah, so some of the lessons that I've learned on this journey: you don't need to be exceptionally attractive to be with beautiful women. All you need is really the skill. Once you've been properly trained, the speed within which you learn the skills is phenomenal. Before social coach, it would probably be something like, spending something like 70-80% single. It was actually quite difficult to get a date for a guy who's 36, small build, not very tall. You wouldn't expect me to be able to handle 3 or 4 women at the same time.
Yeah, we now focus on guys a lot older than him, but yeah, he became so absurdly good with women that my other students, including many tall, handsome ones, just completely worshipped him. He slept with so many girls. He had one time a relationship, got out of that, and then slept with so many girls. And then he's now engaged with 2 kids, I think. Then made a lot more money in his career. So yeah, I've helped thousands and thousands of guys. Tess, you might want to put the link into the chat. If you do want to work with us, the first step is to go on a date and get feedback with Tess, so we know that you're a pretty good fit. You're not a bit of a weirdo or a pickup artist. So if Tess, you could put the link in the chat. Thousands of guys. I said 2 Americans and 1 South African flying to our next boot camp, which is ridiculous, to Sydney. Yeah, I've been on TV a bunch of times, whatever that's worth. Koshi, who many of you may know, great dating tips, sensational. Cosmopolitan, which I was really scared to even do this interview. The girl talked to me for like 3.5 hours. I'm not lying. Illuminating, changed the way I date. Probably the best of all. For any of you who know the 21 convention, I'm not saying this is him saying I'm the best dating coach in the world, but he called me the Steve Jobs, the Apple of dating coaches, just because everything was so incredible in every detail in terms of me as a dating coach. He said that at the actual 21 convention. This guy knows every dating coach is even worth talking about, because he ran the convention that sort of helped blew the industry up. Malcolm Gladwell says you got to spend 10,000 hours on something to be a genius. I'm not using the word genius in relation to me, but yeah, I've got my 10,000 hours. I'll tell you that. Yeah, so this is what I've done with 19 years of my life, just watching guys go approach my female coaches and you give them really hands-on feedback. Then we take them out to bars, we take them out to bookstores, shopping centers. All these guys became crazy studs. He was dating a 24-year-old Bikram yoga teacher who was really hot, apparently. Within 3 months of his training, after the worst, most toxic divorce. He was such a nice guy. He was a great student as well. Yeah, so that's basically what happens. And then at the end of the boot camp, a bunch of stupidly hot girls to the average guy tear you apart. And we've had a whole team of them, probably had 50 or 60 over the years. And yeah, this guy, again, we coach much older guys now. he did the boot camp. He was just a horror show. He needed every help in the book. But he had lots of energy. He was into fighting sports. We trained him really well. And yeah, lots of threesomes in the 3 months following his boot camp. And one of those threesomes just continued on and on and on. That's incredible. And yeah, this guy flew from Nashville, Tennessee. And I think he was 58, 59 when he coached him. And he spent the next 2.5 years just exclusively dating women 26 to 36. From only 139 one. And these were quality women like yoga teachers, psychologists, a travel around America singer, and I can't remember, some entrepreneur who was 26 with a good e-com business. Yeah, just absurd results. There's so many of these. It's not funny. This guy's absolutely insane. Like so many girlfriends. This guy, he did a residential in Bali, and 2 of the hottest girls, basically the 2 hottest girls I saw when I was there, he slept with them. And anyway, I could keep going on and on. We bring a community. Again, our clients now on average probably 10 or 15 years older than this. Yeah, I'll move on anyway. We'll do this another time. So, okay, the big thing about me and working with me, I talk about guys who are getting threesomes or dating models or dating women dramatically younger than them or high quality with university degrees. It's not about getting you that. Some of you may want it. It's about getting you these insane rock star skills that will get you the woman of your dreams. And if you want to have the woman of your dreams, you're probably going to have a bit of fun first to actually learn the skills and actually find the woman of your dreams. You'll need to kiss some frogs. So you need to be promiscuous for a time to get really good with women. This is interesting. I met if you look at the 6 greatest women of my life, I was really pretty promiscuous on the lead up to meeting them, which meant I got to get a girl who's just so stupidly out of my league. It wasn't funny because I was super confident at picking up women and attracting women and sleeping with them when I met them, which is how I got to hook them and make me so special to them. So yeah, if you want to get women way out of your league, you probably want to be promiscuous for a time. So yeah, it's not about threesomes. It's about if we can get these crazy results for 5'6" guys and guys with Asperger's and average looking guys and bald guys and gray guys and all this, guys who've been virgins, surely, unless you've got serious freaking mental issues, we can get you a bunch of hot dates and your dream girlfriend. And all these results, this wasn't test. There was no test there. Everything's so much better now because she makes you a rock star on Zoom along with some other girls. And yeah, this is exactly what happens on the boot camp. Every single thing you need to do to get women way out of your league and get them gaga about you, even if you're old, short, gray, just make sure you trim those nostril hairs. That could really screw you up. You need a lot of confidence to overcome that. It might be as bad or close to bad breath. Yeah, that's one of the studs I was talking about. And yeah, a lot of guys have become studs for a while, then got the greatest girl of their life. This guy's the most awkward guy we ever taught, probably quite away on the spectrum. And yeah, he worked really hard, did private training and slept with a bunch of white girls, which most of the Asian guys want. Then you got this absolutely stunning American doctor. He's one of my favorite clients ever. Anyway, I'll move on. There's hundreds of these stories, hundreds. We've got video testimonials I haven't got around to editing. She's the best by far. She's pretty good too. And then we've got a whole bunch of others. You'll get supreme social confidence, a stack of hot dates, beautiful, loving, dream girlfriend fast. So if you want hot dates with women you actually want this week, what we do is we give you a private training call with the beautiful Tess. You'll practice approaching her, you're going to date with her, and her number one job is to identify and start to work on eliminating. We're not eliminating on one phone call, but we're definitely going to identify most of them. The mistakes that have held you back your entire life that you probably don't even know about. If you've got 3 huge mistakes we'll tell you about, you probably don't even know. I'd be astounded if you knew 1 or 2 of the top 5. Many of you will know none. Relatively average guy, because of the conversation structures and feedback we'll give you, you'll master approaching and master conversation relative to the average American, Australian, English, Canadian, whatever, Dutch guy. And the most important thing is you'll leave with this comprehensive plan with top 3 action steps of exactly what you need to do to get better with women, whether we help you with it or not. You'll be so much better if you do a half-assed job of implementing that. And you walk away knowing how to get hot dates weekly. Spots are limited. I'm possibly personally doing these next 2 months as well as tests, which is crazy. We should be charging $5,000 for that. Very special offer. Exactly how to get hot dates with beautiful women every week en route to your dream girlfriend. I already played that video about the girl who was asked to pay half the bill if she wouldn't fuck a guy on the same night. It's just so easy, so ridiculously easy to beat the average guy. This could be you tomorrow. So we usually charge $14.95 for this. We certainly were during COVID. And there's guys flying from the US and there's guys booking from the US. So yeah, if you want to do a boot camp on Australian soil, you better hurry up because these prices will not last. So it's not $14.95. Tomorrow it's just $1. So yeah, for those watching on YouTube, you got to click the link below and you'll get a little calendar where you can actually get this experience with Tess. That beautiful lady, there's so many of these, I'll just move on. I could talk all night about my clients. I get really excited about what I've done for the world. I basically got 2 really good testimonials by text in the last few hours from my old clients. Okay, I've got to get back on the flow. Oh, I didn't lose people. That's kind of nice. I'll bring someone, the sexy one, back. And okay, what are we doing? Okay, so I'll make the sexy one bigger and on the left because people in our culture read from the left to the right. If I was doing this in Japan, I'd put the ugly big nose one on the right. But given we're mainly targeting English-speaking people, you Europeans are welcome too. I'll put the beautiful one on the left. Anyway, enough of my shit. What's the next question?
Yeah, well, actually, Mark's just a follow-on question from that. Do you offer this in Melbourne?
No, that's an exceptionally good question. I used to love it because I used to fly around the country and have had 6 girlfriends in Melbourne for a while. Melbourne, I thought, had the best girls in Australia in terms of quality. Not as attractive as Sydney or probably Perth or Brisbane by a long shot, but in terms of quality, much, much better because I think it was more of a European culture. No, we don't. And the simple reason is I've got 10 Tessas, not as good as her. I've got a few who are really, really good, have been doing this for like 10, 12 years, and they're all based in Sydney. And if I was to actually fly to Melbourne and do a course, I don't know where to go. The main thing is the expenses would just be outrageous. And I might not be able to get some of them because they've got full-time jobs and they're, taking Thursday and Friday off is one thing, but, flying as well, it'd just be too much. It'd just be too much. So yeah, we don't. But the Sydney one is insane. We've got the Opera Bar. We've got the biggest bookstore in the Southern Hemisphere. The weather's nearly always good. No offense to Melbourne, you're a much better Sydney than City, apart from nature and weather and beaches. We don't. But yeah, I think any of you follow our email. I'm hell bent on moving this to Bali and charging a hell of a lot more, probably out of reach of the average guy, like some of my competitors are. 3 times as much. So yeah, if you want to have a go, yeah, I'd strongly book that link because that opportunity won't be around for very long.
Yeah. So Mark, if you're based in Melbourne, as I said, all of the training that we do over Zoom, you can do that from anywhere in the world. So yeah, we have. I'm working with clients. We're working with clients all over Australia and internationally as well. So it's just about getting yourself to Sydney for the boot camp, which is super easy from Melbourne. So yeah, no issue there.
Without putting the Sydney guys off, a lot of guys who have approach anxiety are worried about doing it in their own home city. So that's an advantage as well. And we get you to stay at probably the biggest hostel in the Southern Hemisphere. It's like a 5-star hostel. You get a lot of women in their 30s and 40s, professional women taking a 6-month career break. So a lot of guys have literally met girlfriends staying at that hostel. So I've even convinced some of my Sydney clients to stay at the hostel. So yeah, it's that's something to consider too. There's a really good comment from Adam that I'd love to address. I don't think that's negative. That's helpful. I talk about myself because, okay, who can remember here's a question. It won't be quick enough. Who can remember all the things I rattle off, like the 7 things or the 8 things you need to know to be really good with women? Who could remember all of those and recite them, like their age, occupation, etc.? Probably none of you, maybe one at most. But if I tell you a story about some girl I slept with and what happened and the obstacles I overcome and how I used the date plan to do that, or how don't bother trying to get attractive young ladies on the phone because they didn't grow up where we did this. You will hope to remember for the rest of time, don't fucking try to get a girl's phone number and expect to arrange a date. Sell her your date plan. So yeah, there's a method to my madness, and without for 1 second putting myself in these categories, if you look at all the great thinkers of all time, Socrates, Plato, Marcus Aurelius, Tony Robbins, not that he's in that level either, all the great teachers, I mean, a business guru I follow a lot, Alex Hormozi, he's got extraordinary content. He's helped me so much. But I don't remember what I watched in this 20-minute video. I remember this story he told me about what he did in this situation. So that's a very fair comment. James likes to talk about himself. I'm a bit over it, to be honest. I'd much rather answer your questions and talk about myself. But I'd much rather talk about my clients and show off about them. I'd much rather have my clients get laid than me get laid in many cases. But it's a great education tool for you because I don't have 600 stories about getting laid or getting rejected or what I did in this situation about all these clients. I've got a few where I saw it. So that's why I talk about myself a lot. It's I don't think it's ego at the moment because I've told these stories like 50 times in some cases. So yeah, but that's a great comment. Thank you. How are we going with the questions?
Yeah, we've got a few here. Nanette's asking, do the skills you teach work for guys who find a woman who's a little bit older than the guy? Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Even better, like even better because they're generally much easier. Tess, you want to take it first?
Oh yeah, definitely. The skills we're teaching you are attractive to all women. So, our target clients are more like 40s, 50s, older. So that's who we're trying to appeal to. But yes, these skills work for any guy, and they're attractive to any women. Because we're basically touching on what we've talked about over and over. Female psychology, what makes you attractive to females. Definitely works for everyone. I've helped friends, I've helped like siblings, we've worked with some guys as well who are in their 20s even, who've reached out, who just really want to learn these skills, and works for everyone. So let's move on to another question. There was one earlier I think I missed. Okay. Paul's asking, where would the best places to meet women be in your 50s? As in, I think, as in you're in your 50s, where's the best place to meet the women you're interested in? So it's different for each person. Obviously, the standard ones are going to like singles meetups and bars, etc., where there might be single women, like upmarket bars or events, that are implied social settings. But the issue with those places is that you are kind of taking a little bit of a stab in the dark when you're approaching a woman. In terms of, are you going to have anything in common with that person that's going to help to build some authentic connection around? Now, if you have a whole big range of hobbies and interests, and you've traveled a lot, and you've got a lot of life experience, and you're just have a really open and engaging approach to meeting new people. This is often why we say, like, when you're on holiday, that sort of mindset works really well. Yes, it could go really well, and you might be able to form that connection with someone. But the easiest place to meet someone, to meet a woman, and therefore the best place to meet a woman who things are going to go well with, you're going to have, the biggest prospect of having something in common with, would be at in a setting that involves that connection. So, let's say you're looking for, for me, like I said, I'm a surfer. It's a big part of my life. Like I've met guys in the surf, or I've met, uh, you know, um, I'm uh, really into yoga as well. So I've met guys when I've been on yoga retreats, or uh, just at yoga classes, like at my studio as well, just through the community. So, what is it for you? What are your interests? What are the kind of women that you're actually looking for? Whether it's just having a similar interest, like what I was describing, or having deeper values that are a commonality between the two of you. Where would you find those women? So if you're looking for a woman who's into health and fitness, like where are you going to find those women? So that is it's a bit of an individual question. You have to think about what's relevant for you.
Hey, we've got a woman here. Actually messaged my favorite Stella when I saw Martin's Insta. I'd love to handle that question. I want to get back to one of the early ones. Why are you so obsessed with young women and not interested in their personality and values? It seems a lot about age. It seems objectifying and unpersonal. That's a very good comment. That's a very good comment. Thank you. I'm going to handle that in detail. I love that question. Thank you, Holistic Kate. Is that holistic health you're talking about? Okay, I had a completely awful childhood, and I never had a girlfriend till I was 31. I never had any sort of contact in a bedroom with a girl till I was 27, and that was so embarrassing. It took me 5 or 6 sleepovers to actually get this little thing to work. So I never sort of did that. Oh, I like you, holistic Clay. I did get some good quality women along to these things because Stella was amazing. Come back, Stella. Martin, tell Stella come back. So yeah, I didn't do that. This is a question I've been asked before. So there's a bit of that. I'm reliving something I didn't have. The big thing. No, let me go. Why are you interested in their personality and values? Seems like I was recently a very good friend's girlfriend asked to set me up with her friends. And I thought, oh, it could be she's interested in me and she's trying to sort of whatever. And I didn't want that to happen at all with my friend. So I knew how to, with social intelligence, I knew how to head that off. So she goes, oh, so what do you really like to date in a girl? And I said, it's really important that she masturbates to Tolstoy. And most people looked at me like I was a fool, like the guy who wrote War and Peace and Anna Karenina. And so it's like, yeah, every girl I've ever dated, the top 6 women of my life were like the biggest literature philosophy nuts of all time. So the idea that I'm not interested in their personality and values is absurd. I've been a dating coach for 19 years. What's the most important thing in a woman in a relationship? Can anyone guess? Big boobs, long legs, young, pretty face? Not even close. Honesty. Because if you don't have that, particularly with women's vastly superior social intelligence, you're in trouble. You're in serious trouble, particularly if you've got some cash, which a fair few of my clients do. The other reason it seems about age, this is a great question. Thank you, Holistic Kate, is I didn't get any sex till I was 31. And then because I worked like a crazy man, I was very privileged. I worked hard for it. I deserved it to actually basically travel my entire 30s, 7 years straight of travel. So unfortunately, that set a standard of woman, particularly in terms of the 2 greatest women of my life, the love of my life, the greatest woman of my life, that I've not found anything remotely close to living in Bondi Beach, Australia. Like, not even close. No one in America, no one in Australia, no one ever than these 2. There was one girl who was a long way behind, but potentially marriage material. So given, and I'm still in touch with one of them and I'm still probably in love with her in some senses. We talked on the phone a few years ago, called her for her birthday or something, and I started crying. I think she started crying. So I want that connection again. And the other reason I'm quite obsessed with youth is because I want to have kids. I've done everything I possibly think of in life, made a ton of money, succeeded to some extent at sport, had a great time with women, 2 by girlfriends, and read the books and traveled and skydived and all that sort of thing. So I really want to have a family. I'd like to have a big family, but you might take offense to me and hang up. If you follow, ladies, any other ladies watching, if you follow Holistic Kate's advice about health, you will probably be fertile much, much longer. But yeah, so fertility is a big thing for me, because if I'm going to have children, I don't want to have one. I want to have like 5 more. So I'm not looking to give up my great life helping guys just for one child, which might seem selfish. I'd like to have a big family and be surrounded by dogs and out in nature and have all these kids come home for me. So that's what I want in life. So that's why I'm pretty obsessed about age. So sorry if I offend women. I totally understand why I would, but that's my answer. I'd love your feedback on how much you like that answer, or if you're calling me a misogynistic prick. But yeah, one of the things I do on my courses is I teach holistic health. I mean, I haven't touched pharmaceuticals since, I don't know, 20 years or something. Anyway, I shouldn't say that publicly. Yeah, and I'm doing some crazy shit with health. Haven't got around to drinking my urine yet, but who knows? I can't say that around girls, because that might just get me crossed off the list immediately. But that's the way people who are in the Himalayas, no water, no anything. Apparently that's how they survive for so long, because it's got some magical properties. Holistic Kate, do you teach that? Sorry, I get distracted when I'm hungry. Anyway, let's get back to questions. Thank you so much for your question, Holistic Kate. Hopefully you at least appreciated my answer. Before that, I'm obsessed with personality and their values. They must love nature. They must read literature and philosophy, like a lot. They must be hardcore bookworms. If they ever wear perfume or deodorant, if they sleep with their phone in the same room, if they watch anything on TV, if they spend their whole time on Instagram, just all these things. So I'm obsessed with all that stuff as well. In terms of the younger woman thing, that's what a lot of my clients want. If I become a dating coach for women, which I'd love to do when I get my team and marketing right, because I think I've got a lot of value to add, simply because I know the guys you want so well. There's some pretty wealthy, successful guys who come to these long lives. I'm not going to say, oh, date beautiful, intelligent younger women. I'm going to say, get the hedge fund guy or the surgeon who's tall, handsome, great guy, reads books into holistic health, traveled, knows how to, got manners and that sort of thing. And we do sort of very low level training. So back to Charles Darwin, one of my favorite human beings ever. Women want confidence and status, the ability to rise up social hierarchies. Men want youth and beauty and femininity. So yeah, that's what the market wants. Most of my market wants. Many of them, not all of them, want younger women. And yeah, us guys tend to like beauty, like you girls like confidence, and some would say money or fancy jobs like plastic surgeon. Great question anyway. No one tuned out, so it can't have been that bad an answer.
Yeah, Ralph's got a follow on from that as well. He says, you've got a point there, Kate. To me, it also seems more reasonable to pick a partner in your own age group, especially if you're aiming long term. Of course, age is just one factor. You must like each other. Ralph, cool. Yeah, no, a lot of people are looking for partners in the same age group, and that it does make sense. You potentially would have more to connect on, and have it would be easier to build rapport around certain things. So absolutely, that's awesome. That's great. That's fine. I guess for us, like a lot of the clients that we work with are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, looking for different things. And as I said, we work with guys in their 20s and 30s occasionally too as well. And if you're looking for someone in your own age group, that's totally fine. That's great. If that's what you're looking for, Ralph, that's fine. Age is just one factor, but the skills that we're teaching you are skills that are attracted to women of all ages. So it's kind of irrelevant.
There could be some nuance to that. Ralph, have you had kids? So if someone's already had a family, they're not going to probably value the youth and fertility as much. So that's very fair. And like, I coach a lot of Asian guys, certainly when I flew around Australia with a bunch of models doing seminars, I coach a lot of Asian guys. And what all the Asian guys want? They want to sleep with a bunch of white women, often with big boobs. And then most of the ones I've kept in touch with, they get that out their system. They get 10 or 20 Aussie girls with big boobs who are taller than them. They get that out their system. And then what happens in their relationship? They gravitate back to an Asian girl, often from their culture and country. So, but it's just something most men want to do, particularly if they haven't had the best run with women, or they're focused on their career, or they're focused on being a wonderful father. Many of my clients, I'm not saying all of them, they actually want someone closer. They actually want to try the younger woman thing for a time, but then they sort of lucky band back closer to girls their age. Hope this isn't conceited. It probably is, but I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, some of the great women of my life, they were all chronic bookworms. Some of them were models who got recruited young, and they basically ran their own business. They traveled around the world. They were constantly being exploited. They developed skills no one else did. They traveled to lots of different countries and worked, and particularly the ones who were sort of on the job reading. I mean, one of the great women of my life, as soon as she saw I had Machiavelli's The Prince, she pinched that straight away. And, every time we're traveling together, she's just stuck in that. A lot of them are reading books when they're getting makeup done or waiting for castings. Another girl I met in New York, two girls I met in New York were hanging out at Barnes & Noble Union Square between castings. So yeah, because of that demographic where they got to travel the world young, they were in they didn't just do well at high school, go to university, get drunk and try to sleep with some high value guys, then get a job in the corporate world. So they were dramatically more mature at a very young age than pretty much anyone else. Am I losing people? One of the girls, she wasn't a model, but one of the girls I talk about more, I mean, she was smarter than pretty much easily any person I've ever met in Australia, by far, not even close. When she was 20, I was a bit younger then. And she was stronger than pretty much any other man I've ever met in terms of how confident she was doing some of the hardest core travel ever. Anyway, James talks too much. Let's move on. What's the questions?
No, Luke also had a follow-on comment that says, men across all cultures and all religions since the start of time wanted younger, more fertile women. Don't fight biology. You'll lose every time. So yeah, I guess it's like going back to evolutionary psychology for men. Yeah. Men want what they want. It's fertility. What drives humans? I guess what's the purpose of life? Is it not just to continue life? I don't know. So why would you not want what is going to be fertility? It makes sense, right? It's pretty simple.
I might touch on that. Yeah, it's. And the other side of that is the modern media, for whatever reason, has tried to highlight the women dating younger men as some sort of status symbol. And to some extent, a really hot girl who's, in her 30s or late 20s or 40s, it's almost like an old guy who gets a young hot girl, goes, I've still got it. I think hot women who get a young guy, they've still got it. Two of my female coaches are really attracted to guys younger than them. It could be a marketing thing, but it's also just an evolutionary thing. And and one of them is pretty intelligent. And I sort of just very, very gently give them some help, because quite a few of my female coaches became sort of not close friends, but sort of friends in terms of we knew so much about each other, particularly our relationship lives. Like Jackie and I know each other's dating history inside out, because we've sat and listened to each other so many times. But yeah, the ones who wanted younger. Like if a woman dates a younger, if a girl as hot as Tess dates a younger man, he's probably not going to hang around long term, and she's fucking training him to get other girls as hot as her, or hotter than her, or younger than her. So there's very little benefit for a woman dating a younger woman, a woman dating a younger man. It's insane evolutionarily, because you're just training this massive player. Funnily enough, when I did coach younger guys, what was the first thing I told them? If they're a lawyer, go date some lawyer 5 or 10 years older than you. use her social network to make dramatically more money in law than you ever would any other way. And then use them for sex training, because women a bit older sometimes know what they're doing, and just use them for your maturity. So what women have been doing since the start of time, dating older men to get ahead in life, and because they're naturally attracted to them, I told my younger clients to do, and some of them became very, very wealthy and successful in their field simply because they were osteopath and they dated an older osteopath with a great business or something like that. So, and it made these men much more mature than they ever were, because they dated older women. So I'm equal opportunity. When I see some hot white girl who's in her 30s walking around Brazil with a Brazilian guy or even Indonesian guy, I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. I think that's great. Just getting back for what society has done to you. That was a rant. No one's left.
Yeah. What? Do you guys have any more questions? I think we might have covered all the questions, guys. Anything that's come up that we've spoken about today, or anything new really? We're here to answer all your questions. Just going back to what we actually do. We've spoken in some detail about that, but you guys, you have an opportunity in the next 2 days to book a session in with me, where I can just actually figure out what your sticking points are in approaching and conversing with women. So yeah, we come up with a plan for you that's individually tailored. So tomorrow we have some availability, and the next day, if you just click on the link that's pinned in the chat, at the top of the chat, then we see if there are any availabilities. I think I'm just going to see if we've had some people book in. Jason, cool. Thanks for booking in. And Mark, cool. So we had a couple. I've still got some more availabilities Monday and Tuesday. So feel free to click those. Click the link, and I'd love to help you guys as much as I can. We've got a couple of our clients here who have said some nice things. And for Adam, who had the concerns about a negative experience in the past, I've heard, once bitten, twice shy. But no, I was pretty appalled to hear your experience with that other coaching that you've had. So for any of our clients who are still here, if you want to reaffirm that that's definitely not what we do.
We won't leave you in the naughty corner. I promise. I
No.
promise. I promise. Where are we? So yeah, there was some good. Anyway, that's pretty good, guys. Slightly smaller crowd than usual, because I think we mentioned we were about over 50s tonight. Hopefully you guys got a ton of value out of that. And yeah, it could well be the final Australian boot camp in February, depending on a few things. So yeah, it's really sad that it's just not commercially or stress-wise feasible to do this for much longer. So yeah, if you want a chance to work with us in Australia without having to fly somewhere and pay a hell of a lot more money, you probably want to book in. Any of the regulars from Australia, I'd love to, if you do want to book in. Luke, the guy with the great questions, who sounds quite successful. Yeah, the amount we could change your life in 45 minutes is pretty much staggering. We had was Latour here. Here's one of the best. I shouldn't play favorites.
He was earlier. I'm not sure.
He's not there tonight. I mean, he's one of my favorite clients I've onboarded in a long, long time. I had a little bit of a man crush after I onboarded him. Tess, how'd Luke go? Was he good? So yeah, some good questions tonight. Just, you can ask them sooner. You don't need to wait so long. And well, we might sign off for now. Do you have anything you want to add, Tess?
Luke's saying he's here. He is here.
Good on you, man.
There was one more question here. From name, last name. Hey, Tess and James, good to see you. What about your work and lessons is the woke culture against? what about what we do is the work culture against? Is that what you're asking?
Fantastic question. Let me just go back a step. I need to get some market research in this. I use the term woke culture because I don't want to say post Me Too. That might not be the correct term. What no one would even bat an eyelid in 2016 can literally almost be a crime right now. I mean, just I don't want to scare you guys, but if you go on a third date with a girl and have sex with her and she's had one alcoholic drink, in most states in Australia, if not all, that one alcoholic drink means she no longer has the legal ability to consent. So after sleeping with a girl who's had one drink, she can turn around and accuse you of rape. Now, a year or two ago, that was true. Maybe the Queenslanders have different standards, like the Texans or something in America. But yeah, it's just insane. So we just need one awkward student or one very skilled student speak to some woman who's a hardcore feminist or a man hater, and yeah, it's just too big a risk because all I need to do is lose certain venues or certain hotels, and I've built this great business that just collapses apart from the negative media attention. Whereas Indonesia, it's just I don't think I need to worry about that stuff as much. And we get so many people flying from America and South Africa and Europe. I mean, Sydney's great, but why not take them to Bali?
Yeah. So yeah, we do teach you to be receptive to women. Like, you know, you should not be trying to escalate in touch if a woman is not responding to that in a positive way, right? So, you know, we do teach you that. That's really important. But yeah, things, you know, yeah, in today's landscape, make it a little bit more complicated and a lot more risky as well. So yeah, we have to be aware of these things. And yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit of a limitation on what we do as well. So, but yeah, nothing about what we teach is contradictory to. Yeah, none of what we teach is going to be causing issues for you in terms of like the woke culture. Yeah, it's about yeah, developing skills, but being aware and being receptive to a woman's response. Yeah.
There was a horrible example of someone who had nightmare on some sort of a boot camp. One of the big reasons is like a venue we used for a long time, and we made them so much money bringing our clients there once a month. But then what happens is some other dude does a marketing course, decides he's going to be a dating coach, and usually they've got much better marketing than me. And suddenly they've got all these Google reviews, even though the few people I talked to who've actually worked with them say they were awful or very average. So what happens is a new company opens up, and then they send students into a venue that we've used for years, often because they're just copying me, which is mostly the case. And then suddenly the staff are like, oh, there's these weird guys running around harassing women. So some guy does a decent marketing course and calls himself a dating coach and then uses the venues that we've been relying on for nearly 19 years. Suddenly, we didn't do anything wrong. All our students were impeccably trained by you know, Tess, Natalia, Jackie, Nevin, et cetera, but yeah, because they had weird guys approaching, our guys get lumped in the same bucket. And yeah, so it just takes one of those instances. So it's like I told you, the second worst rejection of my entire life happened when there was a series of pickup boot camps happening. I'm pretty sure it was LA, and this girl just cut me down savagely, just like so savagely. This is when I was promiscuous and really good at this. So yeah, women don't like to be annoyed by weird guys who, yeah, well, if you come home with me, I'll pay for dinner, honey. What do you reckon? I need to at least get a blowjob. Or do you want to go halves? No, I'll pay for it, you idiot. So yeah, again, it's so easy. It's so easy when you get the skills because that's what you're competing against. Awesome.
Exactly.
Good to see you, Latour. Anyway, guys, we might wrap up, and hopefully you got a ton out of that. I think some of the stories are a bit longer. And yeah, if you're over 50, don't think it's over. What's her name? Kate, the health woman, and some other people. Yeah, having your health in a good state is going to help you massively. It's not essential. I've coached fat guys in their 50s to absolutely destroy with women, just by making them very, very confident. But it's certainly going to give you an edge. Okie dokie. Well, thank you so much. Tess, you want to say anything before we leave?
Just thank you guys. Thanks for your questions and your engagement as always. Please support us. Anything, if you like and subscribe to our channel, like the video, any new subscriptions or likes help us a lot to keep delivering this content and help you guys as much as we can. I'll post a link for that. Oh, I've got to find it. I'm unprepared. But yeah, we still do have a couple of sessions available for tomorrow and Tuesday as well. If you do want to book in one of those sessions but you can't find a time that is suitable for you, please just email info@socialcoach.com and we'll arrange that for you as well. Try to find a time that's going to work. I know that can be difficult with some of the international guys. So yeah, again, that link is pinned at the top of the chat and in the description. And for those of you who have booked in for tomorrow, looking forward to seeing you then. And as always, thank you. See you next time.
Thanks, Tess. If you're over 50, guys, go for it. Don't feel bad about it. Just learn the skills, dress better, and put yourself out there, because there's so many younger women who just want older men, even though our culture tells you the exact opposite. Because look what they've done to the modern generation with wokeness and all that sort of thing, and with the crap. I mean, Kate, the health woman, the stuff they put in their food and their bodies, and I don't know how you do it. Okie dokie. See you guys.
See you guys.
Keep smiling and bye for now. It's meant to be Australian accent. Just end it.